Welcome to Total Retail Talks, your podcast channel for retail knowledge.
Hi, I'm Joe Keenan, and welcome to this episode of Total Retail Talks. Today I'm joined by Alexander Sienkiewicz, who is the Chief Marketing Officer of SwimOutlet. We're going to talk to Alexander a little bit about a recent SMS campaign that it ran with some of its top Olympic athletes that it's worked with, recording inspirational messages for the brand subscribers. So thanks for joining me, Alexander.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So let's start by having you tell our audience a little bit about SwimOutlet, especially for those that might not be familiar with the company.
Yeah, all right. So SwimOutlet was founded 15 years ago. We are the largest swim retailer here in the U.S. Just to give you a sense of the breadth of our assortment, we have over 150,000 SKUs on our site. So we cover every activity in aquatics in and around the water. Our business tends to lean more on the performance side of swimming. So think about that demographic that takes swimming fast in the pool seriously, whether it's young age group swimmer or adult fitness swimmer. We do have a large fashion swimwear business as well on our site. Again, over 150,000 SKUs. I mean, anything you're looking for, whether it's swimming or hanging out poolside or at the beach, the SwimOutlet carries that assortment. In terms of locations, we are headquartered in the Bay Area here near San Francisco, and we have a distribution center in Cincinnati, Ohio.
In terms of the distribution of your products, your sales channels, do you want to touch on that a little bit as well? Is it strictly just e-commerce site? Do you have any other wholesale distribution or physical retail stores?
Yeah, so we're strictly e-commerce, 100%.
Great. And then how about your, just for the audience to get to know you a little bit better, you want to tell us, a little bit about your background, how long you've been at SwimOutlet and kind of your career in, in retail?
Yeah, so I guess I'm somewhat of a veteran in the e-commerce space. I mean, I've been here at SwimOutlet basically since early inception, started when the business was, just a few million in annual revenue. We grew that to basically be, 100 million plus in revenue. And since then have launched a variety of other digital properties. So we have another e-commerce site, yogaoutlet.com, and it's a very fast growing site focused on the yoga vertical. And we have a variety of other business units that aren't necessarily e-commerce focused. So I think, swim tracking, that's swim.com. And shortly we will be launching a yoga streaming service that will complement our yoga business. And for me, just to give you some background, my interest has always been in digital marketing and product management and UX, UI design. So, been living and breathing this for quite some time. And new technology is always what excites me the most. And I think, when we start talking about some of these campaigns that we have ran, I'll talk a little bit about some of the new mediums which we're using.
Yeah, so that's a kind of a good segue into this next question. And so SwimOutlet recently, in terms of had a campaign in which it enabled voice messages for SMS subscribers with inspirational recordings from some of the top Olympic athletes, specific to the swimming sports.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about that campaign and kind of SwimOutlet's inspiration for launching it?
Yeah, so let me give you some background here. So, unfortunately, since COVID-19, we've seen a dramatic decline in our swimwear business, and it's no surprise really, right? Swim meets have been canceled, pools have been closed, and no one is going on vacation. And it became pretty clear at the start of COVID-19 that our customers were all stuck at home. And we know the situation has left a pretty big hole in our customers' daily routines, as many of them do take swimming in the pool very seriously. So our goal is to show that we as a brand care and not just use our marketing channels just for sales purposes. And SMS is a great example of this. I'm a big fan of SMS because I think it's a bit more of a personable channel to use when communicating to your customers versus something like, email or, let's just say other digital ad channels. So we pivoted our SMS messaging strategy to be less sales focused and more inspirational. And so we partnered with a handful of Olympic swimmers, Joe, just as you had mentioned, and worked with Attentive as our SMS provider on, crafting automated two-way communication through SMS. And without getting too technical, our customers are essentially able to get pre-recorded uplifting voice messages from various Olympians like Missy Franklin and Jason Lezak, Ryan Murphy. There's a whole slew of them that I can name off to you. But, to hear a positive, uplifting voice message from an athlete role model, I think during this time can be really comforting. It was very clear when we launched this campaign that our customers were looking for something like this. Really appreciated what we did. These Olympians ultimately, are providing hope and enthusiasm, and they are, very, very powerful role models. And especially after the Tokyo Olympics being postponed, there's a sense that, even athletes and the best out there are going through tough times and, the challenges that we're facing, and they're relatable in the sense to, what everyone else is facing. And, ultimately, we think, our customers will remember the brands that were there for them during this time. And this campaign, I think, is a great example of something we did, which provided an uplifting message for our customers.
So let's talk a little bit about the Swim Outlet customer. Is it the the athlete, the high school swimmer, the college swimmer, and then they're to your point about these Olympic athletes being role models to them. So maybe you want to tell us a little bit about the typical Swim Outlet customer, if there is one, and then just maybe a little bit about the customer or the subscriber experience, I should say, with these text messages, how they received them, when they were listening to them. So tell us a little bit about that as well.
Yeah. So we, like I said before, we cover a lot of different kind of verticals within swimming, but our primary demographic are those that you just described, right? Those who are on swim teams, whether it's age group, high school, collegiate, onto what they call master swimming, like adult swimming. So those people who swim, in their adulthood all the way, until retirement and so forth. All of those people do, I think, pay attention to the sport of swimming and look up to the Olympic athletes. And so with our campaign, we allowed our customers essentially to type in a keyword, to a specific number. In this case, we use a keyword swimspiration. So not inspiration, but we did a play on words, and we use the keyword swimspiration.
Yep.
And there, they got a welcome message saying, "Hey, thanks for reaching out. We'd love to share some uplifting messages for you. Here are a list of athletes to choose from. Select their name or type their name in, and what the customer can then do is type a name in, such as, let's say, Missy Franklin, and get an automated response. Here is your message for Missy Franklin. There's a clickable link, and that would auto-populate either a video or a voice memo message. And that message will usually be about 1 to 2 minutes long, coming from that Olympian, and obviously providing inspiring, words and an uplifting message. So this campaign, we pushed out to all our customers. We promoted it through social media, and the feedback we got from swim parents and from swimmers has just been really, really fantastic. And it was clear that a lot of our customers were looking for something like this.
Yeah, to your point too, you want to be a brand that, is giving your customers experiences. Obviously, during this COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of swim meets have been canceled. Not a lot. I would imagine almost all of them. And to your point, the Olympics have been postponed, and so you kind of want to give this experience. It's not, you're not looking to sell product, but you're really trying to, provide a service to your customer.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We want to show that we as a brand really care. So if I was to give advice to anyone who's listening, I encourage you all to focus on cause-based marketing right now, initiatives that will empathize with your customer base. I think people are really looking for support right now. And as I said before, customers will remember those brands that were there for them.
So Swim Outlet is the official retailer of USA Swimming. And you alluded to the postponement of the 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo to next summer in 2021.
Yeah, what a bummer.
Tell us about the impact that has on your brand. For the marketing plans, obviously this year's Summer Olympics, as the official retailer of USA Swimming, you probably were working towards this date for a while, and now all of a sudden it's pushed off a whole nother year. What does that mean for you and your team?
Yeah, so we were really excited about the Olympics because, usually during this 4-year cycle, we see a massive spike, right, in interest in the sport of swimming. Parents are watching the Olympics and, they want to get their kids into the sport afterwards. And so we usually see every 4 years a nice lift in sales and interest in swimming. So, traditionally, during this time, we increase our budget and emphasis on elite competition side of things during the Olympics, and we do event activations around Olympic trials. We sign on athletes, and we'll usually feature unique content that brings these athletes to life across our marketing channels, such as email, social, website presence, etc. So with Tokyo out of the picture and people not really thinking about swimming right now, we've had to put that all on hold, and Joe, we'll just have to wait until 2021 and plan for activations then. There's just nothing we can do.
Yeah, so you alluded to this as well in terms of your messaging with your customers during this global health crisis. What would you say the Swim Outlet, the messaging you want to try to communicate to your customers during this time, and maybe how has that changed in the from earlier in the year when people weren't thinking about the coronavirus and to where it is now?
Yeah, so pre-COVID-19, we were just very much sales focused, and our messaging would change depending on the season, and we have basically a plan that we follow every year, right? It's but unfortunately, just COVID-19 threw that all out, and we realized our messaging strategy needed to change and adapt with the current situation. So it's important to, I think, empathize with your customers in your messaging and show them that you as a brand really care. So we needed to get creative. The SMS campaign is just one way that we kind of changed our messaging strategy. We started to do other things as well. Now, one example, we are now hosting IG Live workouts every day on our Instagram channel. Every day at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we have instructors coming on that are doing these 1-hour IG Live workouts for swimmers. And it's our goal here is to keep swimmers busy and do what's called dry land training, which is working out of the pool. And we've had tremendous success with that. A lot of great I think goodwill has come out of that, and our customers has really conveyed that this is something that they want to see us do even post COVID-19. So those are just 2 examples that I can give you right now where we've had to change our marketing strategy and messaging to adapt with this current situation.
Yeah, and I think to your point earlier that customers are going to remember the brands that, treated them with empathy and,
Exactly right. One thing I wanted to add, Joe, is, while we're doing some of this, I mean, there's still opportunity to promote sales and for some of the different categories that we have. So rather than maybe push swimwear so much, we're now kind of highlighting working out at home gear, which we do have on our site. We've also started to push out suggestions for yoga gear, as a lot of athletes do yoga. And luckily, we have that sister site I mentioned called yogaoutlet.com, and we've been doing a lot of cross-pollination there.
Yeah, that's interesting that you can try. You have to pivot quickly here and kind of put your attention to the categories that might be relevant at the time, as your pools aren't open. So
exactly right.
Business kind of takes a back seat, but you can push some of the other areas, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And then my final question, Alexander, is just talk a little bit about kind of the consumer behavior, changes in consumer behavior that you've already seen, and kind of your thoughts on, what might translate as we go further and we get, 6-8 months down the road, and hopefully we're past this, coronavirus pandemic. And do you see some of those behaviors now that we're starting to see continuing on even after the health crisis is over? And how do you prepare your business for that?
Yeah, Joe. So, I mean, we think there's just a lot of pent up demand right now. And, people want to get back in the pool. People want to be at the beaches, right? And it's really a matter of, when this kind of shelter in place is lifted and when it's safe to go back into these facilities or to the beach. But we do believe that kind of once we get through this situation, we'll be in a strong position. There's going to be a lot of demand. People will want to be back in the pool swimming, and we'll be there, for them. So it's really just a matter of when.
Yeah, and trying to keep your brand strong and positioning it for that future when
exactly right.
You come out of this and
continue to be relevant, by getting creative with some of the different cause-based marketing initiatives that we're doing. Absolutely right.
And you've given a couple of great examples of those with the Swimspiration campaign via SMS and the Instagram videos that you're creating. So you're really trying to keep the Swim Outlet brand name out there, keep it top of mind for consumers, but also be empathetic of the plight that many are in.
Great. Yeah, exactly right.
Great. Well, I want to take this opportunity to thank Alexander Sienkiewicz of Swim Outlet for joining me today on Total Retail Talks. Thanks, Alexander.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate you having me. Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening. For more information on this podcast, please check out our podcast channel page at mytotalretail.com/podcast for show notes. Total Retail Talks is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, and Spotify. Make sure to subscribe on our podcast channel page as well. If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a few moments to rate and review this podcast. Thanks, and until next time, this has been Total Retail Talks.